to baseball, right? Because I'm very happy of what I saw from this weekend. They go out and they do what they need to do to get the W in the midweek, right? The offense scored enough runs at the end, big clutch hits, win the game. On Friday, you're playing Xavier at home after a road trip at Texas. You have your ace, Luke Coleman, on the mound. He does what he's been doing since the beginning of the year. I think it's 4 starts. He's 4-0. He's given up 0 runs, and he's got 40 punchies.
You mean like in the last outing? Oh, in the year.
On the year. On the year. 0 runs given up on the year. He has 40 strikeouts. He is.
That's an average of 10.
Listen, as far as stuff goes, not comparable to Skeens.
I don't really think there is many people.
Right. As far as, hey, what do my numbers look like? His numbers are arguably better than Skeens was last year at the start of the season. Yeah. So he's been as good as you could imagine and plus more. Then you got Saturday, Gage Jump comes in. So they beat Xavier Friday 4-0. Then Gage Jump comes in on game 2, and he records 5 shutout outings, 5 shutout innings, and punches out 10, right? He's looked unbelievable since he's moved his way into that Saturday role. Electric fastball, great breaking ball. People struggle to see him. Seems like he hides it very well, and then it just explodes out of his hand. They end up beating Xavier 8-2, right? Really, 8-2 is honestly probably closer than the score really even was. They dominated from the beginning of the game. Ethan Fry had my favorite at bat of the year, which I want to break that down at some point this week, probably on Wednesday. We'll break down. Yeah, definitely not today.
2 huge at bats by him on the week.
2 huge at bats, but the bases loaded double off the wall to me was my favorite at bat because it comes after a guy that he had been getting a lot of swings and misses and a lot of pop ups because he had some ride on his heater, and Ethan had a ball where he swung through it, and then he got another one. He fought back. I think got to full count maybe. And throws another fastball up, and he stays on top of it and hits a ball 109 miles an hour off the top of the wall. One of my favorite bats of the week. We're going to break that one down. But him and Hayden Travinsky carried the offense. And you go to Sunday.
And before you get going, we broke down one of Frey's swings before, and Jared was like, "It's going to be tough to keep him out."
No doubt, and that's
the way it looks.
Now watching him now, compared to that swing, that was definitely a 2-strike approach swing that he had. Yeah. He widened out, which was even better. And then this one, because he's a little bit more upright in his stance. Swing looks good. He's putting some really good swings on balls. You're going to start seeing him in the lineup more and more and more, right? He's a big dude, imposing guy. Obviously has super juice in the bat, and seems like he's starting to get more comfortable. And then Sunday, LSU. Thatcher pitched on Sunday.
No, I'm saying in the outfield.
Oh, Larson.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, he deserved it.
Larson got the start. He's been putting up together some really good at-bats. I think they took him out in the 5th and they replaced him with, I don't know if it was Paxton. Maybe because Paxton came out on Saturday with a knee.
Yeah.
And then put Paxton back in the lineup in the 5th inning. But Jay told us he's going to get him in the lineup. He's going to start getting a lot of these young guys more in the lineup. But LSU loses that game 2-1. They had opportunities. Listen, Xavier, don't look at the record because the record is not. They're going to be a postseason team when it's all said and done. They had some arms come out there that were pretty good. I mean, I saw multiple guys in their pitching staff throw mid-90s. Right, lefties coming in throwing really well, funky deliveries, and so on Sunday they had a guy going out there and he threw well, and that just happens. Thatcher threw great. Thatcher 5 shutout innings. No, maybe 1 inning. I think an unearned run he had given up.
The boot. But, 9 strikeouts?
5 innings, 9 strikeouts. He threw really well, right? Throwing a lot of strikes. And to me, that's the most important thing. Is like if he's not walking guys and he's throwing strikes, that's all you can ask for. And,
he was filthy.
Yeah, he's nasty, dude. He was throwing a slider cutter type thing. You never heard that? A slider cutter?
A slutter?
A slutter.
That just made
you save that. You save that. Yeah, you save those for Friday, Saturday.
But he has like a slider cutter thing, and then he's got the big breaker, right? And he snapped off some really big breaking balls on pitches he needed to, right? He pitched himself into some trouble early on, and then pitched himself out with some big pitches, and I think that's all good stuff.
And that's where I think the narrative, and this is for both of y'all, like this is just my perspective, where it feels like people are kind of painting Thatcher into a hole of like, oh, he was your Friday guy, now he's your Sunday guy, now do you want him to be your Sunday guy?
You got 3 Friday guys in this rotation. 4, really.
I was gonna make a comment about that, kind of like when we got to the end of this, but I don't mean to get off of Thatcher, but you usually get to the end of the year and you start looking at teams, and you know the good teams, they usually have 2 for sure, and you're hoping you got like that serviceable guy that's the third that can kind of bridge you to what you hope is a good bullpen. What we're seeing so far, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see how this goes once they get in SEC play, but there's 4 reliable starters.
Yep.
To where you won't maybe not need to see someone on short rest.
Right, at least 4. And he's comfortable throwing Ackenhausen out there as a starter. He's comfortable starting Griffin Herring. Griffin Herring had a 1 in the 3rd inning save. Struck out 3. Right? Like,
well, okay, I'll put it like this, especially because the way you're seeing those guys and the kind of stuff that they're bringing to the table, it's almost like you're sitting here saying, well, I can see Griffin starting, I can see Ackenhausen starting, but I could also see them being the first thing out of the pen if there's a sign of trouble in the game that we need.
Right.
And we got enough arms in the rest of the pen to where, hey, if we can run those out as far as they can go, we won't need to throw them maybe day after next.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like when you're sitting there with those 4 guys and you got maybe 3 others that right behind it that can go, it's like, good God, where's the stop?
No doubt.
Where's the stop?
No doubt. And I think that's well, Lloyd, you had something to say before we move on. I don't want to like go into like what I expect.
Well, he was saying, yeah, the Thatcher point.
You're talking about Thatcher?
Yeah, I just feel like he's because the way that LSU gets interpreted sometimes whenever it's a 2-1 series win over Xavier, what you said, like they're going to be a tournament team, and it felt like everybody like Thatcher didn't pitch poorly.
They pitched great.
You give up 2 runs and you lose. It's like, okay, well, if you don't score more than 1, you're probably not going to win a baseball game. And the way that he's been pitching has been.
He's gotten better every start.
Not only better, but his stuff is so dominant when it's on.
Yep.
And he was on, I would say, on Sunday. And if that's your Sunday starter,
you're in a good spot.
You're in a great spot.
You're in a great spot.
Your Sunday starter absolutely dominated a national championship game last year. So just remember, if that's what you got there, good luck. Because who else has got that in the holster right now?
I don't think many teams. Listen, there's teams out there that are trying to find their way. Florida's got 5 losses right now. Right? You have teams that are trying to figure out. That's just the way it works. Do I think Florida's going to be where they need to be at the end of the season? Of course. I think they're a really good team. But you have teams that are still trying to figure it out. LSU's still trying to figure it out, but they're 14-2. They have some big wins on the road. Xavier was an RPI, top 30 RPI team coming in. Quality opponents. Right?
Series win.
Southeastern,
right?
huge game.
Southeastern, huge game.
As much as you may want to not look at it like huge game.
Any midweek in-state team that you play and you win, that's a big win because they're always trying to beat you. They're coming off a good series against ECU.
But also to do it like that, like you had to go there, you did it. They packed that place. The place was rowdy. They stayed in the game forever. They were beating you late in the game, and then you came up there and actually got it done in the clutch. Those are huge wins.
No doubt.